In the era of generative AI, the question of what's fair and what makes a sensible legal standard when it comes to artificial intelligence training data is very tricky and messy, leading different regions in divergent directions. Just recently, there have been few developments around this from few countries. Amid rising questions about the fairness and legality of using publicly available information to train AI models, few countries are in the process of making the regulations. But Japan has taken the lead and it has confirmed that machine learning engineers can use any data they find, and not only for research purposes but also for the commercial purposes. Japanese government has allowed that country's law lets AI developers train models on work that are protected by copyright. In a testimony before Japan's House of Representatives, their cabinet minister explained that the law allows machine learning developers to use copyrighted works whether or not the trained model would be used commercially and regardless of its intended purposes. And this is not really that new. In 2018, Japan modified its Copyright Act to allow free of copyrighted work for training machine learning models as long as the purpose is not to enjoy the thought or feeling expressed in the work. But rest of the world is still catching up. For instance, in the European Union, the developers can use copyrighted works freely for research. European Union's AI Act, which will be released very soon, is expected to become law later this year, and it requires that Gen AI developers to disclose their use of copyrighted works in the training. UK also allows developers to train machine learning models on copyrighted works for only research purposes. In US, copyright law includes a fair use principle that generally permits use of copyrighted works without permission as long as the use constitutes a significant change in the work and does not threaten the copyright holder's interest. In Australia, well, Australian Parliament and government is still playing around with the new law, and they the situation is quite murky. We are not really sure what exactly is going to happen. But as is the case in numerous other precedences, I think Australia is going to follow US lead here. But still, if you're unsure, it's always good to check with the concerned authorities because still it's very unclear whether you can use publicly available data in your product or not. For rest of the world, well, the thing is not different from Australia. For example, last month, member states of the Group of Seven or G7, which is an informal bloc of industrialized democratic governments, has announced a plan to craft mutually compatible regulations and standards for Gen AI. So they are also still catching up. I'm very curious to learn about what exactly China's stance is on this issue, because China is quite a restrictive society and government. So what I could find that there is you can still use publicly available data in China, but it has to be under the People Republic of China or PRC data laws, which are quite restrictive. So and there are a lot of infringements on rights and other IP rights, intellectual property rights, which are in as far as training data involves. So I think it would be good to clarity on that, and it would be really awesome if the whole world under the United Nations could come to one single universal law, which will be implemented for the AI training data. What are your thoughts on it? If you have any, please put them in the comment section. Thank you very much.